Om. 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 Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. Pranams to the lotus feet of the Lord, pranams to all the Mahatmas and Gurujis, pranams to all of you. Let me chant the Mangala Shloka, the first Shloka. ದಿಕ್ಕಾಲ ಆದಿ ಅವಚ್ಛಿನ್ನ ಆನಂದ ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರ ಮೂರ್ತಯೇ ಸ್ವಾನುಭೂತ್ಯ ಏಕಮಾನಾಯ ನಮಃ ಶಾಂತಾಯ ತೇಜಸೇ. In this Mangala Shloka, Bhadrahari is offering his prostration to Paramatma, and there are several words denoting Paramatma. The first word is Dikkalat Anavati Chinna Ananta Chinmatra Murtaye. So Paramatma, who is of the nature of pure consciousness, which is not limited. Limitations are threefold: spatial, time-wise, and attribute-wise. Here Bhadrahari says all the three limitations are not there. So Dik Kala Adi Anavat Chinna. Anavat Chinna means not limited by. Here Dik refers to space, Desha, and so we have to add Dik Anavati Chinna and Kala Anavati Chinna. Not limited by the time also. Adi means etc. Here etc. refers to the property or Vastu. So Vastu Anavat Chinna or Guna Anavat Chinna, because every object has got its own property which makes the object a particular object. Table is a table because of a set of properties. Chair is a chair because of a set of properties. So every object enjoys its status because of a set of properties. But the problem is that every set of properties which defines an object limits the object also. It is because to have a set of properties is automatically to not have another set of properties. If you are saying it is long, then it is naturally means it is not short. If you say this is red, naturally it is not black or blue. So if you say it is man, it is naturally means it is not a woman, a tree, table or chair. Therefore, every set of properties limits an object, and this is called Vastu Paricheda. So here Chinmatra Murti is unconditioned by Desha Kala Vastu Paricheda. So to such a Paramatma Namaha, prostrations. So how do you know such a Paramatma exists? What is a proof for the existence of such a Paramatma? Perhaps now it may be our imagination. In fact, after many years of Vedantic study, a person may get a fundamental doubt. Is there such a thing called Brahman? So why does this doubt come? It is because every object is proved through an instrument of knowledge called Pramanam. You accept the existence of color because they can be proved through the eyes. Similarly, sound can be proved through the ears. Whereas you don't accept the existence of a horn for a human being because the horn is not provable by any pramana. Therefore, there is a general rule. Manadhina meya siddhihi. It is the same as pramana adina prameya siddhihi. It is the same as pramana adina me prameya siddhihi. So the existence of prameyam, that is prameyam means an object, is proved by a pramanam. Manam means pramanam. So meya siddhihi means the existence of an object. So how do you prove the existence of Brahman? We require some pramanam. But the scriptures themselves point out that Brahman is not available for any pramanam. Sarva pramana agocharam Brahma, aprameyam Brahma. So pratyaksha pramanam cannot show Brahman. Anumanam cannot show any pramanam. So now the question comes as to how do you prove the existence of Brahman? For that, Bhatrahari gives answer. He is showing his knowledge of Upanishads. He is not a poet alone. He is a Mahajnani himself. He shows that they are Swa Anubhuti Eka Manaya. Swa Anubhuti Eka Manaya. Brahman does not require any other pramanam to prove it because it is evident because of its consciousness or nature. So its very nature of consciousness makes it self-evident. Therefore, Bhadragiri says, Swa Anubhutihi. Anubhutihi means Chaitanyam, awareness. Swa Anubhutihi means its own awareness. Swa Swarupa Chaitanyam Eva Ekam Manam. Manam means Pramanam. So for Brahman, the Pramanam is Brahman itself. It means it is self-evident, self-revealing. So such a self-evident Brahman, Swatah Siddha Paramatmane Swayam Jyoti Rupaya Paramatmane Namaha. Then the third word is Shantaya, one who is an embodiment of Shanti, total tranquility, total peace. There is a famous mantra in the Mandukya Upanishad. Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chadurtam Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vijnaya. So that is what is a Shantam. Then finally, the Tejase. Tejase means effulgent, bright, radiant, which is capable of illumining everything. It is all illumining. Okay. So you may have a doubt. Atma can illumine the mind alone. No, no, Atma can never illumine the world. Can you say Atma is all illumining? So for that we say that mind alone illumines the world. But the mind gets the capacity to illumine the world only by borrowing the light from Atma. Therefore, even though the mind takes credit illumining the world, actually the credit goes to the Atma alone. It is like saying mirror alone illumines the dark room. A sun does not illumine the dark room. Our answer would be what? The mirror gets the capacity to illumine the dark room only by borrowing light from the sun. Therefore, really speaking, we should say that sun illumines the mirror directly, and sun alone illumines the dark room also indirectly through the mirror. Similarly, Atma illumines the mind directly, and Atma alone illumines the world also indirectly through the mind. Therefore, Atma is Sarva Prakashaka. Therefore, Tejase, the brilliant, all illumining Paramatma. To such a Paramatma, my pranams, my namaskaras. Thus, even though this is a Dharma Shastra Gandha, Mangala Shostra happens to be a Vedantic topic. Now, hereafter, we enter into the subject matter. Okay, as I said in the initial introduction, now out of the 100 odd shlokas, we will take few shlokas as done by our Swamiji Sri Paramarthananda, Swami Paramarthananda. I am taking the same thing only. I am only repeating what he said. So, we will take those things and then we may go a little back and forth. I have already given you those extract of those shlokas, what will be there. So, which I have already given you. So, that is the shloka number 19 in the original book. Because even the original book, I have got another book where the number varies actually. So, you may buy some other book. So, we do not know what the number is. Anyhow, this is the shloka which I have given you. Now, let us go to shloka number 19 in that. Let us look at it. In my book, I will chant first. Keyurani na bhushayanti purusham harana chandrojvala na snanam na vilepanam na kusumam na alankrita murdajaha vani eka samalankaroti purusham या संस्कृता धार्यते शीयन्ते अखिल भूषणानि सततं वाग्भूषणं भूषणं केयूराणि न भूषयन्ति पुरुषं हारा न चन्द्रोज्ज्वला न स्नानं न विलेपनं न कुसुमं न अलङ्कृता मूर्धजाः वाणी एक समलंकरोति पुरुषं या संस्कृता धार्यते शीयन्ते अखिल भूषणानि सततं वाग्भूषणं भूषणम्. In this shloka, Bhartrahari is emphasizing the importance of speech. We always take the faculty of speech for granted and we loosely use this faculty. Often we abuse this faculty because it is free and there are no taxes also. Therefore, its glory and power are not known. Generally, in our culture, walk is given a very high status. Here, Bhartrahari also brings out the importance of speech. If you see this faculty, speech is a unique faculty available only to the human beings. All other living beings like plants and animals can make some sounds, but the unique power of speaking in terms of language makes human beings very much different from the other animals. If you take the words produced by human beings, the words have got twofold status. When I am speaking these words through your Shotra Indriya, Shotra Indriya means the organ of hearing, ears, you hear these words. So from that standpoint, the words are objects, otherwise called prameyam, which are revealed through the pramanam called Shrotra Indriyam, called ears. So from one angle, the speech or sound is one of the objects of the world, one of the objects known or experienced. But if you know the language that I use, and if your intellect is trained enough, do, now, though these words are praveyam, they are capable of functioning as pramanam, producing knowledge in your mind. From that angle, the words themselves become pramanam. Imagine that you are listening to some Chinese news in the audio, some Mandarin. So when you are listening to that, it is a pramanam or prameyam. It is merely functioning as a prameyam, an object of knowledge, because you are able to hear the sound. And assuming I do not know Mandarin, I do not know the language. It's only a sound coming, I'm hearing the sound. So for the Shotra Pramanam, the Mandarin news functions as Praveyam. It's a Pratyaksha Praveyam. The Chinese news is a Pratyaksha Praveyam. But if you know the Mandarin language, the very same news becomes Pramanam. The very words become Shabda Pramanam. So the words are what? The words are the Pratyaksha Prameyam, and for a trained intellect, the very same words become the Shabda Pramanam. So once now, so this is what is important. So you have to understand every sound is a prameyam, but when you know the language, that becomes a pramanam. That gives you some prama, the knowledge which is giving you. So it is because of the Shabda Pramanam, I am able to understand that particular language. Okay. Once the Shabda Pramanam begins to function for me, the amount of knowledge that I can gather through written or spoken words is limitless. Okay. It is limitless because each word can give you some meaning. See, sometimes the word watch we use could be different, will be given, taken in a different context by somebody somewhere. You have to understand very clearly. I may use a word in a particular tone, in a particular context, in a particular slang, from a particular region I come from, I use a particular language. It's the same thing in another particular way, they may not be able to take it. For example, normally in certain sannyasa parampara, the calling the sannyasi as a Swamiji is very, very normal. It seems in the Ramakrishna order, there, Swamiji refers to Swami Vivekananda. They don't use that word Swamiji. So it can always give a different connotations depending on the understanding of it. So if you remove the Shabda Pramanam, the world is almost zero. Imagine for a moment, we are as a human being, got the buddhi, the intellect, sharp intellect. Assuming we cannot communicate, what will happen? The buddhi what we have got is waste. So human being is unique, not only having the superior intellect compared to plants and animals, we are also have got the speech capability. In fact, we are able to preserve knowledge belonging to generations because of the Shabda Pramanam. Therefore, we cannot take for granted the faculty of speech. It is such a powerful instrument that through that I can change the intellect of a person. I can give him the knowledge which can totally change the direction of his life. Words not only affect the intellect of a person, and through that his entire life. How can but they can affect the emotional mind of a person also. They can produce an emotion, positive or negative. Words can generate love, compassion, and kindness. Words can also generate kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Words cannot only influence individuals, but the words can also influence even nations. Great leaders are able to do a different direction, take the nation to a different way. By what? By their words, and which people believe, and then people follow. Take our Singapore for example. I mean, it's a very unique way Singapore got the freedom. How did it got the freedom? Because Malaysia said enough is enough, you guys go separately. In 1962, when the British leave, 62 to 65, 1962 to 65, Malaysia and Singapore were together. Due to whatever the differences, Malaysia said, thank you very much. You go ahead and become an independent nation. Okay, it was not fought and got. It was you were asked to leave away. Came to a small city state and see what has been revolutionized by one leader, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, and everything has got changed. And today we are all enjoying the prosperity. So, like this, there are leaders who have come from time to time who are either able to take you to the positive side. There are some world leaders who have taken to the negative side also, like Adolf Hitler, who is this great orator, who could take it to a different way also, and which led to the Second World War. So, coming to our spiritual words, our Vedas, now the Upanishads are nothing but the words. So, these words can ultimately release a person from samsara. Therefore, never take words for granted. There's a shloka, na Lakshmi Vasati na Jikvagre Mitra Bandhava Jikvagre Bandhanam Praptam Jikvakde Maranam Dravam. Property is prosperity is on the lip of the tongue. Lakshmi hi Vasati Jikvagre. In fact, many sales people who are very eloquent speakers, they sell very mundane things. For example, there is one person whom I know in Singapore. He is actually, his business is selling vacuum cleaners. They sell one of the high-end vacuum cleaners, very expensive. It costs you something like 4 to 5,000 Singapore dollars. In Indian terms, if you want it is today 3 lakh rupees. There are so many vacuum cleaners which are on the lower end. And this person is such a powerful salesman. He is able to survive on one product for the last 15 years, 20 years, and able to make it and market it. And I am one of the one who has purchased that also. So what I want to say is, the salespeople use the sales talk very nicely, and they are able to sell anything. So Jigvagre Mitra Bandhavaha. We can keep our friends and relatives together only if we have got a proper speech. Otherwise, nobody will come. So, Bandhanam Chaiva Jigvagre. If a wrong word is used, if the wrong word is used, sometimes even the government can arrest you. If you use the wrong word, sometimes some of the words are prohibited. You cannot use those words, or it can lead to riots even. That we have seen in the paper. So finally, Jikvagre Maranam Dhruvam. The words can even cause death. For example, we had one famous author, Salman Rushdie. So satanic verses, Maranam, because of the words. Therefore, walk is a powerful instrument. So Bhadrahari says, walk not only is a powerful instrument, but it can serve as a beautiful, unfading ornament. There are many other physical ornaments, but the problem is they are all subject to loss and fading. Whereas Vag Bhushanam, the words can become permanent ornament for a person. This is the topic of this particular shloka. Okay. Bhadrahari first talk about the other ornaments. What are they? What are they? First, let us go to the shloka. Okay. Keyurani. Keyuraha means bracelet, kankanam. Na bhushayanti purusham. They are not the real ornaments of people because they can fade. Not only that, even if they continue to be there, the body which wears the ornament begins to fade. How does a close-up photograph of Miss Universe look at the age of 90? Therefore, K.U. Rani, the Bhushayanti, Purusham Bhushayanti. They do not really decorate. Then what about the necklaces? Haraha na Chandrojvala. Even necklace which shines like the moon also really do not decorate. Chandravat Ujwalaha. Chandravat Jwalaha. Chandravat Ujwalaha. Sandojwalaha Hara Purushamna Bhushayanti. So they do not really add beauty. What about bathing baths? There are different types of baths like steam baths, jasmine flower petals put bath. Like that. So there are various baths are there. So you go. Some people spend thousands of money, thousands of dollars to do that. Okay. So therefore, so what happens is you got there's a various mud packs and various kinds of bathing is there. So all those things, the people are doing all kinds of beautification of the skin, okay, which is going to shrink only after a few years. So nasnanam. So some people in our region we want a fair color, so we want to have the skin color fair. In other region they want to tan the skin, they go to the sunlight. Okay, now winter is there in the western hemisphere and they all want to go to the coastal area near the beaches and they want to sunbathe. So one person says, I want to get the color fair and I buy Fair and Lovely and then try to put it. And another person says, I want to make it dark and then go to the sunlight. So what a tragedy. So that's what it is. So nasnanam. Then na vilepanam. Vilepanam means smearing all kinds of powders and lotions. They do not really add to the beauty. In fact, adding to the medical science, they are harmful because they close the pores of the skin, which have to be open because the sweat has to come out. Now, sweating is God's design to maintain the body temperature. The idea is you love your skin and its natural complexion. If nobody else cannot see that, it is their prarabdham. Therefore, don't bother about that. Na kusumam. Kusumam means decking with all types of flowers. Na alankrita. Na, na, na alang Na alankrita murdajaha. Na alankrita murdajaha. So all kinds of hair decorations or hair dyes and other things spending thousands of rupees. If you go to the marriage hall nowadays, there's a separate person who is when beautician comes, who does the makeup for the bride. Nowadays, even grooms also do it. Then all the bridesmaids also, whomsoever is there, all the family members, the big makeup session. It's become a big business now. So they're all the beauticians come and do all those things. So that's what happens. So murda jaha means hair on the head. Murda means head. Jaha means born. Murda jaha means born on the head. Murda jaha. If all these are not real ornaments, then what is their ornaments? Vani eka. Vani eka samalang karoti purusham. Vani eka samalang karoti purusham. It is the speech that a person uses. That is the real beauty of a person, decoration of a person. It is not one of the ornaments, it is the only unfading ornament. Samyak Purusham, the Samyak Purusham Alankaroti. Samyas Purusham Alankaroti. But that means what? What type of speech? It is not the type of speech. Na. Ya Samskrita Dharyate. Ya Samskrita Dharyate. The speech which is refined, cultured, gentle, soft, polite. That refined speech alone is the ornament of person. In fact, we can easily weigh a person, measure a person just by listening to his words for a few minutes. Now the question is, what do you mean by refined speech? Now, what are the parameters which determines the refined speech? If you ask the question, we have to go and take the help of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna mentions four factors which make the speech cultured and refined. In the 17th chapter, now instead of using the word na Samskrita Vani, there Krishna uses the word na Satvikam Vakyam. Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam Priyahitam Chayat Swadhyayabhyasanam Chaiva Vagmayam Tapa Uchyate. Krishna mentions four parameters. What are they? The first one is it should be Satyam. The first parameter of refined speech is that it is truthful. In fact, each one is very important, each words. So Shankaracharya says in his commentary, all the four factors are equally important. That means to maintain these four factors is a lifelong project. It is such a tough, difficult, and time consuming job. So, first one is Satyam. Whenever we get into trouble or if there are conflicts or difficulties, the easiest way is what? Way out is lying. So first I should know the importance of Satyam, speaking truth. I know the material advantage, the worldly advantage, the transactional advantage, because many problems can be solved by one lie. But if you have to follow the truth, I should know that is the loss that I have got. Even though it has got worldly material advantage, I should repeatedly tell the mind that every lie takes me farther away from moksha. So I have to constantly remind that every lie takes me farther, going away from moksha, whether it is small or big, whether it is casual or premeditated. So it is the one big project. Then the second parameter Krishna says is Anudvega Karam. It should be non-hurting. It is another big project because I have to know all the words which will hurt human beings. For that, I have to watch all the words which are hurting me. There are certain universal words which will hurt anyone. So then there are certain words which will affect only a one particular nation. There are certain words which will affect only a particular community. There are certain words which will affect only a group or family members. Or sometime an individual will take it offensive. Okay. Sometime it will be taken as an offensive. Okay. So that is very, very important. For example, I'll give you an example which happened a couple of days before. I went to one evening, me and my wife went for a puja in one house. Because it's a Kritika Mandala Veda Parayanam, it is taking place. We went for the puja and the puja went well, the chanting over and everything is over. After that, we were all chatting. And there is one person who was talking to another person. They both are from Mumbai. And that person was talking in Hindi to that person. Me and my wife, we do not know Hindi much. We can understand a little bit, not very fluently. So that person was repeatedly talking in Hindi. So I told casually, hey, why don't you speak in Tamil or English? That person took it as a very offensive one. Then afterwards, the whole direction of the conversation became a little unpleasant. So what I thought is a very natural request, as the other person has taken it as in a very offensive way. Then I said, I'm sorry. Afterward, I said, I'm sorry, I will not say it again. That's it. I should be very careful because you do not know. That's the first time I'm hearing such a strong objection to a simple request. Because it's normally a group etiquette where when you have got five people there, you should speak in a language which is known to all of them. Otherwise, you'd have side conversations, a very basic etiquette. So I only casually said, but the person took it very seriously. And then the whole thing became a little unpleasant. Then we patched up, then all of us left. So this is a recent example. So therefore, Anudvegakaram means I should know all the words which will hurt different people. This is another big project. In fact, In many of the multinationals, when they take people from one country to another country, they transfer. Then there is a cultural session will be taken. There will be a cultural orientation. What is appropriate etiquette? What is the dress? What are the words? What are the behaviors? All those things. In fact, before coming to Singapore, I went through the training. Okay, so when I go to different countries for work, I used to first ask what is correct here, what is not. So I used to understand, learn a bit from the books, and then go there and do it. It's a very, very big project because all these are with regard to a single faculty called speech. There is therefore anudvega karam, na ahimsa rupam. So next factor that has to be taken is that Krishna says in the Gita is priyam. So then the word should be indicate my love, my compassion, my kindness for the other person. We should she should watch the tone, decibel, the types of words, because my attitude is expressed through the words. Therefore, the words should ooze the attitude of kindness and compassion. Priyam. That is, it should indicate that I care for the person. I am interested in the well-being of that person. It is easier to have the attitude towards the family people or children or someone. But here the value is universal. That makes it all the more difficult when you live in a cross culture. And finally, we have got hitam. Whenever I now whatever I speak should be for the welfare of the listener also. That is, you should not merely keep in mind my own personal benefit. I should take into account the welfare of other person also. This is called hitam. So Shankaracharya says all the four factors have to be taken. Satyam, Anudvegagaram, then Priyam and Hitam. All the four have to be taken care. If I take care of only one factor, then also it is unrefined speech. So these are all some people. There are some people who claim that they are very, very open-minded. Some people say, I don't like to keep anything in my heart because I am very open and honest. I don't want to hide anything within me. So those people consider the speaking whatever is in their mind is kind open-mindedness. It is honesty. Therefore, they think it is a virtue. But here Krishna says, speaking everything in the heart cannot be considered a virtue because before I speak, no, what is in the heart, I should fulfill three more factors. So that should be filtered through the three more layers. What are they? Anudvehakaram, Priyam, and Hitam. If the words cannot come out through these three filters, even though it is in my heart, I should not express. I should not express. Then what is honesty? Isn't it hiding the feelings? Shouldn't I be honest? We should know the definition of honesty very clearly. What is honesty? Whatever I speak should be keeping with my feelings. Whatever I speak should be in keeping with my thoughts. Honesty doesn't mean speaking whatever is in my thoughts. Therefore, this blind, uncontrolled, uncensored, mindedness can become himsa. And even though it is satyam, it also comes under the adharma. So satyam can stand and enjoy the state of dharma only if it also fulfills anudvehakaram, priyam, and hitam. Then the questions come, if I keep the feelings inside, don't express them out, thinking they will hurt the person, then who will convey that? Now, somebody has to convey certain ideas to another person. Now, so consider other person. So then we say satyam also can be conveyed. If it has to be conveyed in a very careful manner at the right time, at the right place, by proper padding, taking so many things into account. Now even satyam can be conveyed without hurting a person. Okay, that is very important. So it is very, very important. We have got all these four factors considered. And here I wanted to bring out quite a few references which I have noted down. I told you in the beginning itself, I will be giving some references primarily from Tirukural, and I would expect people to buy a Tirukural book or go to the website, appropriate website, where you can go and take the correct meaning. It is available in English also in website. It is available in Tamil, also available in the websites. But I normally keep a book for myself. Two or three varieties I have got, various authors. I keep it, and Thiruvalluvar has conveyed this beautifully in quite a few adhikarams. So I'm going to look at it, few of them. The first one is adhikaram number 10. As I told you, Tirukural has got 133 chapters or sections, you can call it, and divided into three parts. So each chapter has got 10 couplets, two line things. Couplet means two lines. So ten of them, taking one topic. So here in the adhikaram number 10, it is called Iniyavai Kural. So Iniyavai Kural means now speaking pleasant things. That's what is called Inivai Kural. Okay. And here one Kural which is beautifully says, Iniya Ulavaga Innada Kural Kaniruppa Kai Kavarandatra. Because we talk about Priyam, by not speaking words with nice words, with compassion, with a pleasantness, it is like taking a sour, unripened fruit in when there is a good fruit available. This is what he says. So this is the one adhikaram. All the Qurans are important. You can go through it. That's your homework. Then you go to adhikaram number 13. It is called Adakkamudamai. That means Adakkamudamai, one should be able to restrain oneself. The restraint is giving various topics, and that is one of the important Quran. I will pick it up. Now, Yagavar Ainum Nakaka Kavakal Sohapar Solirikapattu. This is Quran number 127. Whomsoever it is, one has to have a restrained tongue. This is what is the important message here he is giving. It is Quran number 127. That is again another homework for you. The next one is the adhikaram number 20. Payanila Sollamai. Payanila Sollamai. That means not speaking unnecessary words, which is not useful to anyone. You should not speak words which are useless. You must be able to converse in a meaningful way. That is what. So here, the Quran number 210. 210. I'm giving the English number so that you can go and look at the meaning in your book. Solluga sollin payanuடைய சொல்larka sollin payanila chol. If you speak, it should be useful to someone. Otherwise, you don't speak at all. This is another adhikaram. Then next one, Vaimai. Vaimai. This is adhikaram number 30. I told you Satyam. That's what is called Vaimai in Tamil. Okay, Satyam. So here he is beautifully putting it. I'll take it out. The Quran. Vaimai 30. Okay. Here he is saying, வாய்மை எனப்படுவது யாதெனின் யாது ஒன்றும் தீமை இல்லாத சொல்லல். 291. What does it mean? The satyam, what you are talking about, truth, is something which should not hurt others. I'll give you an example. Here, very good example you can give. For example, you go to somebody's marriage. Now it's all marriage season, and then people are all having holiday season. When so many things are happening, people invite you for marriage or function. You go to somebody's house, they have got a sumptuous dinner or lunch kept there. And then the person is already having a lot of difficulty, and then he is organizing the marriage by even borrowing, and you go and have the lunch there. And the lunch is a little bit okay because the person is not very well endowed. The person is trying his level best to serve, and obviously there could be some this thing could be there in some of the meals. Maybe the payasam, the kheer may not be good, or whatever it is, the main course. Some of them may have some salt will be less, or sweet will be more, whatever it is. So when after you finish the dinner, they come, he's saying, okay, how was the dinner? He'll come and inquire you what you should do. You say, just now I told you, no, I'm speaking my mind. No, you have to say, you have to have the understand what is the thing is. Here it is not important for you to dissect the menu and then go and give bluntly everything. You just say it was nice. That's what you should do. So that's very important. So why my? Then next one he is doing is, it is the 65th adhikaram called Sol Vanmai. because Solvalmai means the ability, the excellence in speech. The excellence in speech. It is a very, very, very powerful. Many world leaders have come because they are able to convey things in a very nice way. Now, ஆக்கமும் கேடும் அதனால் வருவதால் காத்து ஓம்பல் சொல்லின் கண் சோர்வு. 642. So the ability to speak will give you akam and ked. It can bring you up or it can make you go down also. We have seen many people have business leaders or political leaders have spoken one wrong word, they have lost the power. Whereas on the other hand, we have got leaders who are able to, with their eloquent way of presenting things, they are able to turn around people. Abraham Lincoln, very great speaker it seems. Or Lee Kuan Yew, our former prime minister, beautiful orator, excellent speaker. I have seen some of his words. Anybody who is visiting Singapore must come and see the museum, Singapore Museum, where you can see how and where you can listen to his speeches. Or even nowadays, I think it is available in the YouTube also. Go and look at it. What oratory skills they have got. So you can turn around the nation, or you can turn things backwards, or perish or ruin your career just by the speeches. So Balwar gives one full adhikaram on soul one mind. That means all of us should improve ourselves. Then the last one I want to take it out is Vegulamai. The Vegulamai. This is Adhikaram number 31. Adhikaram number 31. That means not getting angry. Not getting angry. Because when you go and converse in the conversation, when in a meeting or in a group of people, there are so many things will happen. And one should be able to restrain. You should not lose words. You should not get angry and spill words. Then that will hurt. That will affect your image also. It is very, very important. And here he says, 301 Kural. Silidatu kapan, sinan kapan. Allidatu kakinen kavakalen. What does it mean here is, you should be able to restrain yourself where your anger, your frustration can be felt and people may feel fearful. Okay, because some places you shout, nobody cares. Assuming I go and shout at my wife, I'll get up. It will be coming back in multiple ways. So I have to be very careful. That is not the place where you are. Assuming you are a boss and you try to shout at people. In fact, in my first company, when I first worked as a shift engineer, I had a bitter experience. I just joined the company 2 days ago. I was put directly into a shift. There was a very seasoned foreman, and I was a shift engineer. We are in the yarn manufacturing unit, polyester yarn manufacturing unit. Early morning, power failure came. All the machines were down, and everything is going as a waste polymer. And by the time this production manager, morning 8 o'clock, he came on the round because he is in the day shift. I was in the morning shift. And the moment he saw the whole thing going down, he started screaming from the top of his voice. This is my first industrial life I'm getting into. And I was shocked by somebody shouting like this. I have never seen like this, anybody shouting in my house or anywhere. And the foreman who is experienced, he said, he gestured me saying that you keep quiet. I just kept quiet. And he shouted and he left. Then only I realized this is the nature of this person. Then I thought there's so many things. So what he is saying is, where you are able to speak, where people under you are there you must have a restraint. That is what is important. Because there are some corporate organizations, I heard, they use even abusive words towards their even senior people. The owner will come and then he will do all kinds of things. It is unprintable words are being spoken, it seems. People have acknowledged, people have told me who have worked in such corporations. Luckily, I was one who has worked in a dental organization subsequently. So I never had to go through this throughout my life. So it is very important that Vak is the Bhushanam. That is the main ornament. All other ornaments are not real Bhushanam at all. So he says, Bhadrahari says, so Shiyante Agila Bhushanani Sadatam Vak Bhushanam Bhushanam. We will see further details in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Magi Magishaha. Bhubrahmanebhyo Shubhamas Nityam. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. हरि ओम.